had an issue with Pam where she would record everything I said as if it was like chopped and screwed. But everyone else was perfectly fine. Chase, do you know what chopped and screwed? Do you know what chopped and screwed is?
Yeah, like, chopped up and like a remix, basically.
Yeah, but it was like my voice sounded slowed down, and everything I said it would just it would do that, but it was only me.
I remember that episode. There was an episode to where like I just was laughing. Normally I will skip past stuff like that, but like you and Pimp were like a straight up beat. I was like, actually, like I like this.
It's like remixed it. Put a nice beat under it. You're like, damn, fuck, I'm feeling it.
But yeah, what's up, everybody? This is Scarcasm. I'm Crucial Chase, and we have Scarfinger in the building.
What's up, dog?
And we have a guest on, which is Chaffee from the Games We Don't Play podcast.
Hey, what's up? What's good?
It's pretty good.
Are you gonna say everything over again, like because we've already?
No, because that makes it canned.
If we were to have just recently had a conversation, I would say, Games We Don't Pod is like, we don't have time to play games, like how you guys probably don't have time to play games because you're committed to like all kinds of other stuff, like the games you just don't have time to play. Maybe, for example, like your kids playing Fortnite and they want you to play with them, but you don't want to do that because you got other stuff to do, like watch shows on Hulu. Oh, recap.
Yeah, I do notice to where I'm like, man, I would love to like get into something to where I'm just grinding for hours and I can just listen to podcasts. But then when I do that, I'm like, I could be playing this other game that I can knock out in 5 hours, or like the story game or something. Why am I wasting my time just doing this mindless stuff, even though it's fun?
No, see, I'm not wasting my time. Here's the thing. One of the 5 games that I'm supposed to do that recording about, you might want to try this, Chuffy. We got asked a question about what are the 5 games that you just keep coming back to.
Yes, I know. I've heard you guys talk about that.
Yeah, so you might want to try that. Like that's a good show topic. But like one of the games that I really keep coming back to is NCAA football. And it's really sports games are the ones where I can play the game and I don't necessarily need to listen to what's happening and still listen to podcasts and do all of that kind of stuff, because I caught up on podcasts because I've been playing a lot of Live 19, and I basically ran out of podcasts. I even caught up on Everyday Gamers. Like, when do I do that?
even the episodes where it was where they re-uploaded old episodes.
Yeah, I'm completely caught up. Nice. And that's all because of Live. There's no other way I could have caught up to this point. But like sports games are where you have the mixture of feeling like you're doing something and having enough time to do something else on the side, because I'll play live. There's a live stream that I watch on Sunday nights. It's a marching band live stream. And like, they usually go 2 or 3 hours. So I can sit there and I can put that on my tablet, sit that on the side, and then just kind of zone out and play a sports game or something that I don't really have to listen to, and it'd be perfectly fine. Hell, the only thing that I have to listen to in live is knowing when the shot clock or when the quarter is getting ready to stop.
And that's the beat.
But not even that. The controller vibrates.
And I totally get I get what you're saying, because like for me it really depends on the mood too. Like, if it's the end of the day and I'm tired and it's like, I've already got the dinner ready, the kids are in bed, my wife's like settled, like I've put it all out on the table for the day, I don't have the energy sometimes to want to dip into like a story mission. I'm like, I just like all that. I'm just like, I just want to blow shit up, So sometimes I do dip into like the one game I've been playing a lot is Realm Royale, which is Fortnite without the building. And it's a lot of fun because then I just shoot shit and it's simple. It's like the baby version, And so like that's a ton of fun because I could just burn time. And like you said, I have one AirPod in, I'm listening, I can hear what the rest of my family's saying, I can do the thing and just zone out. But the game I do go back to quite often is Skate. You know, I have it on the backwards compatibility because, like how you said, like for you, it's like the two, like, well, one, grew up in California, like I'm still out here, like I mean, I've been skating since I was a little one. I'm an old ass man now, but I still have a skate ramp in my garage. I just got like a new skateboard for Christmas. Like I'm still out here trying to break bones and shit. So I don't know what I'm doing. But
the breaking bones part has always been my problem. I was decent at just the basics, like stand on this thing and kick push and just kind of ride it out. And you know, like even sometimes, you know, when I was younger, you just kind of be on your knees and kind of kick pushing, like doggy paddling.
Like you go right down from your front door down the sidewalk to the sidewalk, you know?
Yeah. So like that's pretty much as far as my skateboarding career has gone.
Yeah. You see, and that's why with the skate games I can still I can live the dream. I can do the grind, do the ramp, like do all that stuff. And then like I said, zone out. Like I can do that for a long time and not feel like I have to accomplish something. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm just skating.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is it about skate that brings you back as opposed to some of the better Tony Hawk games?
You know what it is? Skate is more realistic. Like Tony Hawk definitely has a place, but Tony Hawk is not foundational. Like, you know, when you're doing like a 720 and then a backflip, like it's those large combos, like that's a whole different thing. Whereas like the skate games feel like skateboarding. Like you can only land like one or two tricks in a combo kind of thing. There's some ridiculous stuff you can pull off, but for the most part, it's like
it's more grounded.
Like it's more grounded. So like stuff like when my character, like because I didn't do the trigger combination properly, I'm not getting a good pop in my ollie, so I'm not high enough. Like that's just real. Like I've had those moments where I'm just like, oh, this is like a terrible one, and I clip my feet on a step and I fall over, and I'm like, no, that feels right. And that's what I was saying. Like that's why that connects with me, because it's living that like external thing. Like it feels like what skateboard feels like. Whereas the Tony Hawks, those are just wild fun, but they're not grounded. Like how you're saying. I think that's probably the best word to use.
Because I didn't skateboard, but I was like skateboard adjacent, I guess you could say. But I
rollerblading or what?
Poser.
I played a lot of punk and hardcore. Like I was in a couple of bands and stuff.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. So when I played skate, like in Tony Hawk, you would like press the A or the X to do things. In skate, you would use the thumbstick to like. It was almost like you were doing like half circle things. Yeah. So because just skating around and you would just tip it and like move your feet a certain way. It felt good. And even from a non-skateboarder, like it felt good, you know?
No, and that's totally true. Like there are like things you could do with the thumbsticks where you see the character's feet shift and it's like, that's real. But like, whereas Tony Hawk, it's just X, O, triangle, and you've done it.
But that Tony Hawk soundtrack though.
That was awesome.
You should get this Tony Hawk soundtrack and play it while you play.
Shout out to the first demo that had that Superman song over and over again. Everybody knows that damn Superman song.
Yep, that's right. Man, that demo, everybody played the shit out of that demo.
Yeah, because that was back when they actually gave us demo discs. And like that demo disc had everything. Remember the Armored Core demo?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, man.
I still got a gang of those discs, like just hanging around because I was like, oh, these are memories. And then I remember
I still have some.
Or when you would go to the store and you would just see like all the demo discs rip out the back. Like they all had that cellophane packaging, just like no disc. Damn it, man. But yeah, so much, because like one of my favorite games and it was just really, really weird, but I played it on a demo, was this game called, it was PS1 era, Oh No, Mr. Domino. And so you're a domino and you have to like basically like knock them down in like a chain of events, right? But like you had to, in a sense, like murder people. So like if your dominoes fell, like one domino would knock a toaster in the tub, and then the girl would get electrocuted. Like, it was weird, man. Like, it was so strange. And it went on this rotating platform. Man, I'm telling you, that game was like, that's kind of when I really, like, it was very Japanese. You know, like, and so that was one of my first, like, entries into, like, oh, this is not an American style. Like, this is way different. But without that demo,
it's leaving to Japan to be like, murder people in style.
Yeah, very cutesy. Like, as the girl's dying, she's like doing the peace sign with the heart in her eye type of thing.
I love electricity.
Right. Sizzle. That game was a trip. It was so good.
I'm gonna get such a 10.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So like, what things have you been into lately? I know you said you don't really get to a lot of the newer stuff. I don't either. I did play Crackdown and Anthem. Mm-hmm. I think I talked about those last week, and I kind of haven't been back. I really want to play Anthem, but I just haven't had the time because, like you said, like it gets really late at night, and it's just like I don't really want my brain to work for an Anthem, and I need something I can pause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's been a big thing for me is the pausing. Because when people said I dropped off of Destiny 2, I did at the same time, but it wasn't because I was like pissed off at whatever they were pissed off at. It's just it happened to be when my second son was born that I was like, yeah, I can't do this strike right now and just like say, yo, leave me alone for 40 minutes, you know?
Right.
So that's why I stuck to mostly RPGs, JRPGs, anything turn-based or something like that, to where it was just like, yeah, I can get up right in the middle of this fight because they'll wait.
I don't remember like what podcast I heard it on. I think it might have been like an episode of like PSVG, but one of the guys said, because he was talking about how he fell off of Red Dead Redemption 2 because of the time. Like when it takes you, 5 to 10 minutes to travel from one location to another before you hit a mission, he's like, I can't do that. And so the phrase they used was like, a lot of new games aren't respecting a mature gamer's time. And I was like, yeah, I think that's really it. Like, I would play more of the games if I didn't have to if I only have 30 minutes and half of that 30 minutes is traveling, I'm out. Like, I can't do it.
But also a lot of that comes from if a game isn't over 20 hours at least, people are like, this ain't worth $60.
Right. And for me, my sweet spot, like, not going to lie, if a game is 8 hours, perfect. That's my jam. Like, because it's enough for me to be able to finish it and not be like 3 months down the road going like, wait, what was the story?
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and surprisingly, I've actually been playing a lot of stuff lately. But just kind of dipping into things like that Apex Legends, that one's got me hooked. Like, that's a lot of fun. Especially
that doesn't respect your time because they can pick you back up.
Right, exactly.
Overdope said, hey, can you answer me an English question?
An English question?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Maybe he doesn't speak English and he wants us to answer the question in English? I don't know. Well, whatever the question is, put it in there. We'll see what we can do.
I don't know. Yeah. Overdope's a pretty American name.
Yeah. I don't know. Toss out the question, man. Let us know.
You never know. Go ahead. We got it.
I mean, I do work in education. I'm sure I can figure something out. But, no, what was I going to say? Yeah, so Apex, I've been playing that. That's been a lot of fun. And then, like I said earlier, Realm Royale, been eating up a lot of my time. And then I've been playing the Far Cry New Dawn, and I've really, really been enjoying that a lot. I was never really a Far Cry fan, and it was more just the mechanics of it. I always felt like the characters were on wheels. Like, so when your character starts to run, it was almost like you could feel their momentum start to build, like a car, and then it was just like they're just zipping, and it didn't feel like realistic, and they weren't heavy. They were too light. But this one I'm liking. I'm really enjoying it. So that's kind of like a lot of stuff I've been playing lately. And then for some reason, like super random, Angry Birds 2. Just out of nowhere, I was like, I think I feel like playing Angry Birds. So I've been getting back into that.
Yeah, my coworker plays a lot of Angry Birds during downtime. Mm-hmm. And she's all about it. She's all about that life. Playing Angry Birds and various match 3 games. She's an older lady, so.
Well, we have the question. Said I am from Germany, and I need to complete the English exercise. What I decided will just go over has been quickly. I need to set these words in a row. It ends with the word upon.
Okay, so he needs a sentence with upon?
It was like, what the words are, what I decided will just go over has been quickly. And you have to rearrange them with it making sure it ends with upon.
That's a hard one. That's really difficult because you need more context.
Yeah,
yeah, and especially if you can't see it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's on Twitch.
The upon piece would have to be you need some type of foundational noun. So, what is it? The task you're trying to do? Are you putting something?
Maybe it will. I will go over what I decided. Okay, what I decided upon would be the end. Mm-hmm. So, just go over what I have decided upon. Quick, But what I decided upon would be the end. So the other ones will just go over has been quickly. You would rearrange those to where they make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still feel like it's missing something though. Like it's gonna need it. It's gonna need a thing. Because what are you deciding upon? And also, I don't know. That sounds
what he had will go over quickly. Well, I don't think the context really matters. Just where
just the
grammatical. Yeah. I didn't know that we were going to be doing English exams on the podcast.
Well, I mean, what I will go over quickly, what I have decided upon, kind of works is okay, I will explain to you what I already figured out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's more an introductory piece to the conversation.
Yes.
This is what I have decided upon. Right. Boom. We are going to discuss.
That's just the weirdest question for a mostly games focused podcast.
Right. Well, while he's responding to that, Scar, I do want to give you a huge shout out because I was listening to a few episodes back, and I've been struggling in this conversation of trying to construct thoughts into a thing. I've been struggling with being able to tell people that 21 Savage is not mumble rap and contextualizing what mumble rap is. Because I feel like people are on some old man shit that everything new is mumble rap. Yes. And I'm like, you're wrong. Like, stop it. Like, 21 Savage is not mumble rap. Like, that's different. That's
and even the people who were a part of mumble rap, like the Migos and stuff like that, more of their current stuff, they're actually trying to rap. Like they move past it. Yes, there are some there are some people who are still in that, but no, I think a lot of the pioneers of it, or the people who have made it as big as what it was, they've all moved on. Kind of like how I watched this video about what's wrong with modern country music. Mm-hmm. And basically country music is going through a phase right now where the modern country music is basically making snap music. Mm-hmm. And trying to explain this to people who don't know very much about rap, they don't understand what snap music is, where they're using the snaps instead of using a snare. Mm-hmm. But my coworkers are mostly white and they love country music, and I despise country music. But trying to explain, we've already been through this in hip hop, where the snap music was the Laffy Taffy and all of that kind of stuff, where using snaps instead of a snare, and country music is going through that phase right now. And I'm trying to explain, hey, this is just a phase. We've already been through this. Yeah.
And you know what? And to say it's a phase too is I think really, really appropriate, because it's almost like where rap and hip hop culture shifted to modern day hip hop. Like it's now accessible to everybody because the current like popular country music, you're hitting the trap beats, you're doing the snaps, you're having the low bass lines, like it's in there. It's just now the message is still country, but the sort of musical structure is like way different, and so it's like it's just being accessible to people.
And that's part of the reason why I hate country music, because country music and people who love country music, they always stress authenticity, but it's not authentic at all. Like my girlfriend loves country music and I don't, and I've said this a million times. You would think the more modern country you listen to, the more you think they really love Chris Brown. Because like all of these songs, all you have to do is change out the slide guitar and some of that other stuff and add a little bit more electronic sounding music.
I was gonna say, take out the synth, put in the guitar, you got it. It's the same.
Yeah. And like in a lot of these songs, Chris Brown can sing them and it's the same song. It's the exact same song. It's just like they really, really modern country really loves Chris Brown. I mean, he beats up women. He's
got police trouble.
He got police trouble. Gets in fights in bars. Like they type of shit.
It fits.
but yeah, like I think a lot of them have evolved in a way. But it doesn't. But for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. Like I have a friend who has a hip hop podcast, and he hates all modern hip hop, and
even if it's like, because even if it's something that's not like just on the radio, like if it's something like Danny Brown or like like Earl Sweatshirt or something like that.
But what this is what really happened. There's a lot of old hip hoppers that still default to New York for what they love, and the fact is, New York is gone. It is gone. East West killed New York. New York lost the East West thing. Ever since Snoop came through and crushed the buildings, like New York lost the East Coast West Coast thing. But the West Coast didn't win either. The South won. And it's exactly what I said, and I put this in the context of gaming. Where like people were so enthralled with paying attention to East Coast, West Coast that
they left the door open.
They left the door open. The South came in. Like the whole idea of modern hip hop and what hip hop and hip hop is right now is that Texas and Atlanta and Louisiana sound of hip hop. It's the South. The South won all of this because they were too busy fighting each other and they didn't notice that, the South slid under them and went above them. And you got people from like, what's his name? The guy who had, the guy that did Panda,
a Designer.
Yeah, Designer. Like when Designer came out, it was like, okay, you're telling me this is not from Atlanta? Like you're telling me that this is not Future? Like, wait a minute, this is Future though, right? Like, this
so
is
now
Future.
we make the assumption that it came from Atlanta. Like,
but Designer is from Brooklyn or something. Like he's from like Brooklyn or something like that, because the South came in and it took over everything, and now it has bloomed in places where we never thought this would have happened. And that's the same thing that's happened in gaming. While all of the hardcore people were a part of this foolish console war nonsense, the casuals slid in and basically asserted a dominance over what we do. And like, what kind of things came with the casuals? Microtransactions, because the casuals, for the most part, were the ones that were on the mobile games, and like things like, the popularity of things like Fortnite and stuff like that. These is all of the things that we would have previously attributed to the casuals.
Yeah. And you take that Fortnite, Clash of Clans to Fortnite, Plants vs. Zombies to Clash of Clans to Fortnite. Like you can see that continuum. Like it's right there.
And we were so busy talking about, my black box is better than your black box. And it was just like, nah, you know what? Yeah. I can play Fortnite and I can play it anywhere. Like, you know what I mean?
My teraflops, my Ps, all that stuff. And it's like, what is killing it right now? A mobile system called the Switch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because, and it's like he said, you have these two big ones fighting, and then who comes in? Nintendo. And they're like, oh no, well we're giving everyone they want. And now Nintendo's got the sort of place where we're hearing the rumors of like Xbox Live coming to the Switch. All these sort of like games that people didn't play are now coming over, being ported, and it's like you just left the door open. Like,
yeah, because like the Microsoft Sony thing got so bad that the Wii just slid in there and it's been on and popping, with the exception of the Wii U. Like, it's been on and popping for Nintendo since. And all of those Nintendo sensibilities have been in games, and then the mobile game sensibilities have been put into these games. And now we are like trying to rail against it, like microtransactions are bad and all of this kind of stuff. Like, no, like what happened this current generation, like the beginning of this generation, has been about power, how many P's you can put on the screen, resolution and graphics and all of this stuff. And we push this stuff so far that we let Microsoft say, all right, we're going to take a break from all of this and we're going to go make us a better box. And while they did succeed at making a better box, those games kind of slid by. It was like, we can't really focus on games because we got to make a better box. We can't focus on games because we got to make a better box. And like the incremental upgrade of the PlayStation Pro, PS4 Pro, was good enough for them to say, okay, we can still focus on games. We're just gonna make this a little bit better. But Microsoft felt the burn from all of that and said, no, we have to stop what you're doing. We got to figure out a new box. We got to put whatever we can to make this thing be able to compete, because they said they want P's. They said they want 4K. They said that they want all of these things. And then we go, well, Microsoft ain't got no games, because you asked them to go make another box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, because you wanted the strongest, the biggest, and then to bring it back around again, who comes sliding in through the door? The Switch. That does, what was it?
720p in your hand.
And it's like, what happened to fucking the HDR and all that shit? Where it's just like, okay, we're still playing Smash Brothers.
And in most cases, when you plug it into the dock, it doesn't automatically put it at 1080p. Yeah. It absolutely does not. It doesn't put it in 1080p. It keeps it at 720 on your 4K TV. So because the setting is automatic. So you got to go into the settings when you put it in dock mode and say, yo, bro, I need them extra P's.
I need it all.
Because and then there's games that like 2K. I play 2K. I played 2K on the Switch. I don't like it at all because of the microtransactions and such. But I've talked about that extensively. But
with microtransactions, people are so mad that they keep putting them in games, but they're selling. So they're like, you guys are mad about this, but you're buying it.
Because the people who are complaining about it are the East Coast, West Coast people that are complaining about it. And like the people who slid underneath them and rose above them, the South, are the casuals that don't give a shit. Like they don't give a shit. There's a reason. There's a reason why that Candy Crush still makes millions.
I was just going to bring that up because I was going to say it's easier to drop a buck on Candy Crush a day. Like you drop $1 here and there, no big deal. You're good. You just get to the next level. And so now that's the ecosystem. Whereas like when we're looking at expansions in DLC that are costing $20, then it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. But then you look to the side and it's just like Fortnite's like, you want to buy the Battle Pass for $10? Yeah, sure. It's going to last me 6 weeks. Okay, cool. Why not? Like that's digestible. And so then again, it brings it all back. That microtransactions is there.
And like we look at it, like a lot of people don't know that, Activision kind of owns Candy Crush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like,
then we were mad about.
Activision kind of owns Candy Crush. EA kind of slid in and bought a lot of these big time mobile games and all that kind of stuff. So the same people who are serving you these microtransactions in these mobile games decided, hey, why the fuck not? Let's just put it in these games and let's see what happens. And it just so happens that this shit popped off.
Yeah, because to keep it in that same context, like, I think that gamers in this current social media world are our worst enemies. And I'm talking about in the context we're using, the East Coast, West Coast, where the casual gamer is that third party. Like, we screw ourselves because we bitched, and not all of us, but, I'm just using the general we. Like, we said we're not playing Battlefront 2. Like, you guys missed out on a good game. That game was fun. You said you wanted a story, they gave you a story. The flying's off. Like, it's a fun game. But because as gamers, we said, we don't want microtransactions. They're fucking up. This is not fair. We killed the game. We deserve that because that's what we cried for and we got what we wanted, except with this other layer.
Yeah, we also killed Andromeda DLC.
Right, like, but it's what we get. Like, we can't have it.
No, the casuals didn't kill Andromeda DLC.
No, I said we.
Like,
yeah,
the gamers.
we did. I don't.
Yeah, the general we. The general we. People in our sphere.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a thing where the problems are our own. And the problems got magnified by social media. Social media fucked everything up for us.
Yes.
Everything. Because before we were in our little cliques, and we would go to forums and such, and like we would be insular and we could talk amongst ourselves and all of this kind of stuff. But social media, one, opened us up to each other. And it opened us up to the developers. It opened us up to the publishers. It opened us up to the people who are making these games. So like that vocal minority sounds so much louder now that like the beginning of the end was them having to make changes to Mass Effect 3. Now I do like the changes that they made to the ending of Mass Effect 3. But everything changed with Mass Effect 3. Everything, because they caved.
Yeah, when they flipped on that ending, it was a wrap.
Then it was like the people knew they could win, and once the people knew they could win, then they were trying to get wins everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's like that feeling, like that.
Yeah, I think it's the kid.
Chase is short, so he may not know this, but like that feeling of the first time you dunked a basketball.
No, I'm short too. I'm only 5'6", so I don't know if you know. Most Mexicans are really short. That
okay. All right. So I'll change it up. That feeling of your first 3-pointer. That feeling of your first 3-pointer, where you know that you were.
When I folded that burrito real nice and tight, and it like the bottom didn't fall out. Yes, let's go.
But see, it's like that. It's like that. You fold that burrito, the bottom ain't fall out, and you're like, "Holy shit, the bottom ain't fall out. I need to fold more burritos because I think I can do this now." And that's basically what happened to the community with that. Like, oh my god, why is everybody so short? But like Chase, you're about the same height, right?
5'8".
You are not 5'8".
Yeah.
What?
It's because you're so damn tall. You don't know what 5'8" is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
I'm not even that tall. I'm 6 foot on a good day.
Yeah, everyone's always taller than me. But I mean, all in all, like to kind of connect it all together, it really is true. It's like we get so hung up, and we have this, like you said, it's like the vocal minority really pushes a bunch of shit. Like if it's the gaming thing, it's like everything's terrible, nothing's good. All these new games, they are all bad for whatever reason. And then the same thing goes to the music, because like more than gaming, like music has always been like my shit. Like daily I'm looking for new music, and I never wanted to be that old guy that was like, back in my day, we had real rock, we had real hip hop. Because I challenge people when I say 90s hip hop was not the golden era. because there was some garbage. But you forget the garbage. You forget that, like, you had like some of the worst artists in that time too. Were there gems? Yes. Was it a time when hip hop and rap really diversified? For sure. Yes. Because it wasn't that New York boom bap like how it was back in the day. I totally get it. But it's that we don't want to get out of our bubbles. Like, to bring it back to 21 Savage, like that album that came out in December, that album was phenomenal. Like, anyone shitting on it, like, then you didn't listen to it. You just went with what everybody else said, just like how the same thing goes with gaming and social media. You're part of you just retweet it and you don't have a thought for yourself.
It goes, and yeah, what you said earlier kind of struck me because I'm not a Far Cry person. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Far Cry person at all. I think the last Far Cry I really tried was 3. And I thought it was okay, but it wasn't my cup of tea, especially because you didn't have regenerating health. I did enjoy quite a bit of Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon was fucking hilarious.
Okay, you see, we're on the same page. We're speaking the same thing because I loved Blood Dragon. It sounded awesome. It made fun of itself. Like, it knew what it was, and I appreciated that it broke that like fourth wall type of thing.
Yeah. And then, but like, when you said you liked New Dawn, I went, holy fuck, someone actually liked that? Because I never played it and I was never really going to, but like, it's the same conversations that I'm having with my friends when they start talking shit about Anthem and talking shit about Crackdown. And it's like, bro, have you played these yet? Cause I didn't play enough of Anthem to really say that I could enjoy playing this game. But the little bit that I played, especially the flying, was fucking fantastic. Like, I was really enjoying flying around and hovering and doing all of the things. And like, when I played a few hours of Crackdown, and I was like, this isn't that bad. It's just like, it's not really that much of a refinement over the first game, but holy fuck, this is more Crackdown.
And here's the difference. Like, what you're saying, like, this is the major, major difference. You are telling us what you did. You played Anthem. You played Crackdown. Whereas everyone else is going, I heard that it's broken. I heard that it's more the same. And it's like, dogma kills everything.
I can tell you exactly when I decided to stop listening to reviews and such. Like, I may come across something, but I don't internalize it for myself unless I actually played the game. When that Hillary dude at IGN decided to declare his love for Sony, who he was the editor-in-chief of IGN, and he decided to declare his love for Sony, I said then you can't be objective and I can't listen to you anymore.
It's bias.
Yeah, I can't listen to you anymore. If you're the editor-in-chief of a website that's supposed to talk about all video games, or all of the big video games at least, like, I can't fuck with you if you pick a side. Like, that could be your personal life. Like, what you do in your personal life once you walk away from these reviews and all of that kind of stuff, that's on you. But the moment you decided to draw that line in the sand and said, I'm Team Sony, when you're in charge of everything, like, you basically made a Trump statement.
Yeah. You just played to a certain group and just kept it as is. Like, that's it, so that you can enrage the other side. Like, I think that's a good analogy. I mean, like, on my end, like, I got a Switch, I have an Xbox, I got to play, like, I got it all because I want to experience it all. I know that not everyone can do that. Like,
Chase doesn't have a Switch yet.
Why though? Get one. It's a definite. My Switch gets so much use because you could just. I love the instantaneous. Like, I pick it up, play, put it down, move forward. Like, it's great, especially when you're like, like I said, a mature gamer. But and so what I was going to say though is, like, I get that I have a unique experience. Not everyone has that, but it's like, instead of just going to like the media outlets who are just going to tell you, like you said, if you're going to go to IGN and they're going to favor Sony, then you're going to be pissed. But there's other outlets too that are very like still pro Microsoft and how this new relationship is better than the other. But we still give into it, It's still like, I mean, because you brought up like the politics piece, and it's like it's funny to me because I always tell people, like, everything's football. Like, no matter what, like, whether it's your political alignment, your religious belief, like your work or whatever, it's the team you fight for, you know, and that's like that's the flag, that's what you rally, that's what you build under, that's who you're like. But the point I was trying to make is that I think as a gamer, I think we're detrimental to ourselves. I think we do that damage to ourselves. We get what we want, we say we don't like it. I play games, like, you know, in the general, like, sense of things, like, because it's not the fully defining, and also I try to really avoid a lot of that, like, pissed off bitch and moan, like, dialogue, you know, where it's just like, I don't have time to fight over this. Like, I'm too old to be fighting. Like, I'm trying to figure out if we're going to be able to make the mortgage at the end of the month. Like, that's the real big picture here. What I usually tell people too, like, when, you know, when they say, like, oh, they find out, like, that I do play games or whatever, and they're just like, oh, but you're an adult, why do you still play? And I'm like, did you go to the movies when you were a kid? Yeah. And I'm like, you still go to the movies? Like, yeah, we still, like, it's a form of entertainment. Whereas you like to watch your movies, I like to control my movies. That's really what it is. And so when you talk about, like, getting into, like, historical accuracy and stuff like that, like, I mean, think of all the things that happen in movies. Like, we know the Avengers isn't real. Yeah.
Yo, are we talking about Battlefield? So here's the thing. You mean to tell me that you really care about accuracy and people, like, okay, before I start this conversation, I am a well-known hater of Battlefield. It is one of the, like, people call me a hater about a lot of things. Battlefield is something I truly don't like. Mm-hmm. Like, I truly don't like Battlefield. The whole series, except for the single player for Bad Company. The Bad Company single player is cool with me. Except the controls. People really care about this in a game where, you know, you're in a war, you die and you come back.
Yeah.
Like it's just that part of it.
Right out the gate, just straight up.
And you care about accuracy in a game where, if something is wrong with my tank, I just pull out a welder and magically the shit just works, and I weld. Like, something could be wrong with the inside of the tank, I weld the outside and it works. Word?
So at the same time too, we just have crates of parts hanging out in every random home. You just collect them and then you rebuild your tank.
yeah, like, and like, it's stupid. It's a video game. It, like, in most video games, it shouldn't be accurate. It shouldn't. Yeah. Like, just because you add bullet drop doesn't add accuracy to your game. Like,
but they don't bitch about any of that stuff. They just bitch when, like, a female gamer can choose a female as their player in a multiplayer game.
Yeah, well, and it's stupid. That's really stupid, because do you know, when I first got into podcasting, a lot of people thought it was really cool that a lot of people thought it was really cool that my ex-wife played video games, but, like, she didn't even really play that much. It was just one of those things where she played video games, and a lot of people asked me at the time, like, how do I get my wife into playing video games, or how do I get my girlfriend into playing video games? And, like, one of the ways to do that is to put stuff for them in the game. Like, if they could play a female character, it makes them feel better about themselves. I feel the same thing. I feel the same way about black characters. Like, if I play a game where I can choose or design a character, I want to be a black person. Like, can I be a black person, please? And like in most games, you don't really get that option, but in some games it's warranted, because in, like, Halo, they're all in, multi-billion-dollar suits that don't show their faces. So that makes sense on that level. But, like, some people were upset about, like, can I be a black dude underneath? Like, if you can look through my browser, can you see
if they make the excuse of, like, oh, it's a set character, you have to play this set character. Commander Shepard's a set character. And you can be whatever Commander Shepard you want to be.
Absolutely. But see, here's the problem when you think about that in the perspective of Master Chief, because they said that, people said that they wanted Master Chief to have more personality. But it was like, he can't, because like we wanted someone to be as close to what you think as possible, but like he can't be any close to what I think because he's not a big black dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or in cases he's not a woman. Like,
Yeah. And what you're saying is definitely right. It's what you think. Like that's where you can't like make everyone happy. And that's like going back to that whole Andromeda DLC. Like, if you just cater to the vocal minority, you're going to get stuck in this loop, which is the loop we're in now. Because if I think, well, you can never find a character that's going to look like me, then you're never going to find a character that looks like me. But we're talking about how many people in the United States? Like,
right. How many different
it's impossible. So it's and so something you mentioned earlier, if it's part of the game where it's just like, it's Master Chief, he's in this thing, he's in a suit, I can't see him, fine. If I have the opportunity, give me the slider, because then I want to access the game, make it look like me.
Yeah,
totally.
I just made my multiplayer character brown. I made the Halo, his armor brown for a long time,
just to have it balance in. But something I wanted to touch on that Chase was talking about was, and this is like part of the big reason why I probably on the level of your distaste for the Battlefield is my distaste for the Polygon site. Because they just raise issue where there doesn't need to be an issue. Like, they have an agenda. And I remember it was like one of the when Call of Duty allowed you to create a female character, and then they ran a whole thing that was about a lot of guys are creating female characters because they want to shoot women. And I was like, Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait. If I make my character female, then why would I want people to shoot her?
Right.
Because I want to win.
The whole article is flawed. And so there was now this major influx of females playing female characters in the multiplayer sort of realm. And it was because guys wanted to have these provocative women, and they wanted to be able to shoot women and tear women down. And I was like, wow, you really that's a reach. Like,
that's the reach.
You really went far on this.
But I think some of that is like I don't know what their agenda is, but
clicks.
Yeah, I know that, but they it seems like I heard that they were founded in part by one of the guys who just left a certain site. I can't remember which site he left.
Kotaku.
Was it Kotaku? Well,
yeah,
he was a big in with like the Gamer Gators.
Yes,
stuff.
That's what I was going to say, because there was the whole like the Kotaku, I can't remember what his name was. He left there, kind of joined Polygon to really head it up, and that's when the Gamergate shit really blew up. So
maybe they're like. It's like this whole thing to where he's like making these articles to be like, this is a liberal article. This is how they think. And then it gets the alt-right gamers, the gamer gators to be like, yeah, look at those fuckers. And like Polygon's actually just fake news, just like anything else. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, it's the same thing that's what's happening at ESPN right now, where a lot of people accuse ESPN of being like so liberal and all of this kind of crazy stuff, where it's just like, okay, the only thing that changed at ESPN is there's just more women and more people of color. Like the content didn't change. It's just all they did was added people. And then they got rid of Kurt Schilling but Kurt Schilling, it wasn't that he was like super Republican guy. It was like the same thing that happened. The same thing that happened to a couple.
Kurt Schilling was the opposite of super Republican, wasn't he?
No. He went super Republican.
Yeah,
he did.
He went full in.
Okay.
Yeah. But what happened was he ended up getting fired, and a lot of people kept blaming that on the liberal ESPN. But it was like, okay, ESPN said internally, we'd like to remain as neutral as possible. he kind of said some things, and they was like, "Come on, man, we don't need you to do that. Like, we need to try to be as neutral as possible because, like, we have, we have NBA contracts, we have NFL contracts. We like to remain as neutral as possible." And he just kept doing it, even when they kept telling him, like, "We don't need you to do that. Like, we would like you to stop." And he just kept going. And then eventually, it was just like, "All right, fine. We know you're not going to stop, so we're gonna have to let you. We're gonna have to put you on the street." So, like, that is what happened. But the discourse was like ESPN hates conservatives and they hates Republicans and all of this kind of stuff. It was like, no, my man was openly breaking the rules over and over and over again. And then a lot of people said tried to bring up the same thing about Jamel Hill. But like her thing was set on the thing that she said about Trump was on her private Twitter page, and that came back to bite her also. Like, but it's just like ESPN said, "We don't need you to do that." These people went out and they did what they did anyway. And ESPN has to be like, well, I can't really.
Yeah. Cause I think with what you're going is like, there's so much like in the media that's like a hybrid, mm-hmm. And I totally agree. I think they're really trying to let's just talk sports. Like that's our because that's already debate enough. Like you can go all day just on talking about one game, one season from like 10 years ago and have people be at each other's throats. Now you add in the layer of like, political alignments, and it's just going to flame it in a completely different direction. But when you look at like modern media, like it's all like everything's all kind of meshed together.
One of my bosses
just have one place to just like, I just want to see sports. Boom, done.
One of my bosses at my job is a conservative, and he is all about that Fox News life. And do you have any like people who are religious Fox News watchers and readers in your lives? Like that is like some of the stuff that he just comes in and say, "Hey man, did you hear about this?" And I'm just like, what the fuck kind of shit do you read? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. And like, in trying to go too far in one way or the other is the biggest problem that we're having in society in general, not just gaming, not just politics, not just sports. It's just like everybody is so worried about the other dude on the extreme that no one is paying attention to the people in the middle. And in the middle is where we all should be trying to meet each other.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Because that's kind of, I think when you had went on earlier, like that's kind of what I was going for was we're so caught up with like that flag we run behind, mm-hmm. that team we rally behind, that we're not hearing, anything else going on. We're just saying like this is what I fight for, and that's that. No other information. Like I just got my taxes done like a couple weeks ago, and the guy who does my taxes, like, he's super, super conservative. He's always got, like, the radio on. And he's always asking me stuff. And I'm just like, man, do we got to just, like, do my taxes? Like, I don't have to get in this conversation with you. But so as he's hearing all this stuff, he's asking me, he's like, I know you go in the other direction. What do you think? And I said, listen, I go, nothing's perfect. I go, so let's just start with that. I go, but number one, do you really believe topic A is a reality? Well, I mean, when I really think about it, no. And I'm like, okay, but as you were listening to it, you were saying out loud, right, that's true. I said, now then the topic B came up. I said, and you were still doing the same thing. I said, it's not until you paused and detached yourself from the conversation did you kind of think like, man, that was some wild bullshit. And so like, because, and like I said, he's hardcore, like he's in it. And so my return wasn't that great this year. And so I was like, what do I need to do, man? Like, what is it? And right out the gate, he was like, you need to vote Republican. And I said, why? He's like, because you'll get your money back. And I said, okay, but why am I? Well, hold on. So I go, wait, so tell me how I got less, like why I got less, significantly less this year. And he goes, oh, man. He goes, I know I voted for him. He's like, but Trump really fucked us. Like, like these tax brackets, he's like these things, this, that. Like he went off for like 20 minutes. And I go, but you just told me to vote Republican and that would benefit me. And he goes, well, I mean, it doesn't really. And I said, right, man. I go, it's when you say it, then you realize not everything's perfect. And I'm not saying like go away one way or the other if there's anybody who's conservative listening. That's not what I'm saying. Like, it's the bigger picture. Like, is this good for all of us? No. But we fuck ourselves because we go like, I'm a ride or die for this team no matter what. Even if that hits me in the wallet, even if that hits me in my health plan, even if that hits me at my job, even if that means I work for a month and I don't get paid for it, like, we just ride for our teams. I ride for Xbox, I ride for Sony. That's it.
Yeah, the crazy part about that is like when this tax plan went through, a lot of people were talking about how this was going to benefit us and all of this kind of stuff. And the people who were against it, they all said at the time, this doesn't benefit us. This benefits the people at the top. Like the people at the top, like it's coming out now that like Amazon doesn't have to pay any taxes. Like
they're getting a refund.
Yeah, like Amazon doesn't have to pay any taxes. What do you mean?
Amazon gets the earned income credit.
Yeah, they get the earned income credit from all of the employees. Like, are you fucking kidding me here? And then so a lot of them were very much for the tax plan. And then when they when they're getting their tax returns and they're just like, this isn't what I expected. And then they're just stopping. They're not saying anything more. They're just saying, this isn't what I expected. Trump 2020. It's like, And then like there was this thing on Facebook a couple months ago during the shutdown or whatever. Someone put there's millions of immigrants, illegal immigrants that are still collecting paychecks. Government employees, how do you feel about that? And the thing that it was shared from said like Trump 2020. And I was like, well, your answer is right there. Like, even if you think that these people are getting paid, the reason why the government employees are not getting paid is because of the person. Like, it's right there at the top of the post. Like, this is the people, this is the person who's in charge of this. And this is the reason why these people are not at work right now. So like, don't ask them how they feel about it. Ask, the person who was in charge of them not being at work. Yeah. And then another Facebook post, and this is spot on. And it doesn't have to deal with just politics and religion. It's everything at this point, because like social media is just people shouting their feelings at each other.
Yes.
And then other people who are shouting what they think is facts at each other and saying, these are facts. But this Facebook post says being taught to avoid talking about politics and religion has led to a lack of understanding of politics and religion. What we should have been taught was how to have a civil conversation about a difficult topic, which is spot on. And that's not just about politics and religion. In our sphere, it's about video games also. Like, we can't have a regular conversation about things. Mm-hmm. Like even like the microtransactions conversation, we can't really have that conversation because it's just a whole bunch of people shouting. Yeah. It's about the women characters in video games. We can't have that conversation because it's just people shouting at each other. Like,
okay, so like listen to this, because this came up like it was big like right after Christmas. People were the old argument of batteries in a controller versus rechargeable became a thing again. And I was like, we're still arguing about this? Like, who cares? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, because you can, if you want to put batteries in your controller, fine. Knock yourself out. Like, you want to buy the recharge kit for your Xbox controller? I don't care. Like, that doesn't change my life.
Right.
You want to have a PlayStation controller that charges? Like, fine. Like, but it's like, but it's the fact that I have to tell you, you are wrong because you want to have batteries, or you are wrong because you want a controller that has an internal battery. Like, it's not wrong. It's just what I chose. Like, who cares? Keep it moving.
It didn't take several patches on PlayStation to get that thing to last longer than an hour.
Right.
I do want to say one thing. It's like I bought these. Which is like the Energizer one. It has a little base it like sits in. Well, 2 years ago my Xbox got stolen, but this controller, no, the controllers did, but the charge base and my extra battery that I had didn't. Mm-hmm. So I still had this battery and I still had the charge thing. So I went out and was trying to just buy one battery. I saw one that was Nyko. I couldn't find the Energizer one, but it looked the same. But the Nyko one, the little thing right here was just a little bit lower, so it won't charge on the the thing. So I have to buy another thing just to have two of the. And I can't. Mm-hmm. These have been the best batteries I've ever bought. These Energizer ones, and I can't buy them without the base, and I can't find anything that's like just the Xbox, not a third party thing, which is really frustrating.
It's surprisingly really hard. But that brings this whole kind of microtransaction. Like a lot of this conversation is like it's all a circle. Everything connects. When I chose to buy a PlayStation 3 over an Xbox 360, like my friends lost their fucking shit. They were like, "You're wrong. You got the wrong console. You should have did this." And I go, "Listen, like if I buy a PS3, it's already got a Blu-ray, Wi-Fi out the box, like." I don't have to buy a charge kit. I got the cable. Like, I'm good. Like, I calculated it. And I said, but if I buy the 360, I have to buy and this is early on in the gen, I have to buy the Wi-Fi adapter. I have to buy the plug-and-play kit. Like, it wasn't doing the Blu-ray at the time because remember that was the HD, Blu-ray disc thing.
HD DVD. I still have two of those drives.
Right. You see? And so it was like when I did, like, the amount of money I had at the time, it was maybe $100 more for the PS3, but when I calculated all the other things I would need to buy, then I would be paying like $150 more. So in the end, I got what I needed for the price that I wanted. But man, that's sort of that entry point to like your microtransactions. If I wanted the better console, then I needed to buy the battery pack. And then, oh, you want Wi-Fi? Guess what? You got to buy the other thing. Like there's these little gates. Now we just accept it. And we just go, oh, well, it's fine. This is, I got to buy the extra thing. I got to buy the extra thing. Fine, whatever, And so it's just nuts.
Yeah, we accept all of this stuff. But do you remember what the horse armor controversy? Like,
oh, shit. I forgot about that. Do you
remember that? Like at the time, that was huge, and it was like because this is just a skin for the horse, it doesn't actually do anything. Right. It's just a skin, but like. And then like people are like really railing against like the Anthem skins that are like $20. It's like, well, just like the horse armor, you don't really need this. So like, why are you mad? Like, just go play the game, do what you got to do. You don't really need this.
So we were pissed that the horse armor was just the skin, right? And we wanted, if we were going to pay for something, it needed to do something. But then we did not want to have play to win, where you buy a thing that gives you an unfair advantage. So now we're back to Fortnite, where it's like you just have the skins, no play to win. You're buying packs of skins for like $20 for a glider and a alternative outfit. Like, we're back to square one.
Yeah.
They're all horse armor. If you don't name this episode Horse Armor, I don't know what. Like,
the return of horse armor.
Because that's really what it is. It's from those moments. We got what we wanted. We didn't want it. We wanted it to change, but we don't recognize that we're just back to square one again. And we're going to keep complaining, and it's just going to keep happening. It's so dumb.
The complaining isn't helping anyone. Except for when you complain, when you get enough people to complain and do a multi-100-page document about Mass Effect, like that might actually do something. But I mean, but oh my god, that Mass Effect stuff was just the worst.
That was wild.
The worst. But it's really crazy, and the biggest problem with all of this is like, how exactly did we fix it?
That's a really good question. I think it gets fixed in a couple of ways. If the rumors are true, that we might be looking at like, the projected end of of multi-consoles and kind of having one unit where everything goes to that application model, right? Like our smart TVs, right?
What was that guy's name? Dennis Dyack? Shout out to Dennis Dyack. He predicted the one console future a long time ago.
Yeah. And I kind of see it like on one hand I'm like, but I love my console, whatever, like, but when you look at what your television can do now, like your TV is supposed to just show TV shit, but you can have other TV formats in there. So my TV can do Roku, my TV can do Hulu, HBO, Netflix, you name it, and I can add more. I think it was like on the Nerdist like years ago where they talked about how I don't remember what he was talking about. Oh, the iPhone. And it was like how it was the early iPhone and how he likened it to shaving and how we know like Gillette's like is the big like shaving company. And he's like, the reason they won was because they had the handle. And the handle was the moving piece. All you had to do was change the head. And that was revolutionary because now you get what you want and all you have to do is just change the top. That's what our TVs now, that's what our phones are now. Like all we have to do, we get it the way we want it. We just put it on. And so it's like, if I can stream Xbox Live through my TV application, why not? And you tell me there's a possibility I might have a Nintendo one or a PlayStation one. Sure, like Sony TVs and not that long ago had PlayStation Now or Samsung's had PlayStation Now embedded in them. And so it's like, that's where we're going to end up going. And I think that's going to level a lot of the playing field because it's going to be you get what you want in one centralized location. I think the piece that's going to be left out is still going to be now I have too many subscriptions. I think that's going to be the bigger argument.
That's the problem. And what I see, and I started to see this with the whole Netflix canceling their Marvel TV shows so that, Disney's streaming service, which is supposed to come sometime this year, so that can, I guess, so they wanted their ball back. So apparently they could do something else with it, but it's just like, bruh, I already pay for Netflix. I now pay for Hulu. When certain TV shows are on Starz, I pay for a Starz subscription. And then like WB came out and put out the Titans TV show that I wanted to see, but I'm like, I don't really want to pay for another subscription. And then like by them removing these Marvel TV shows that I really like, except for Jessica Jones, I really like these shows. But if they're going to put these on this service, now I feel forced to have to pay for another subscription. And it's like, at what point does this stuff stop? And that doesn't even count like the Amazon Primes, the HBOs, and all of that kind of stuff that you just spoke about. Like all of this stuff is like it was cool to not have cable. Like it was really cool to not have cable. But by the time I pay for all of this shit, I might as well have cable.
You're back to square one because now you've sort of priced yourself out. Yeah, because that's what I was just going to say too. It's like you go around and it's like, the new thing is like people are like, what do I see a lot? Oh, millennials have killed cable, and I'm like, number one, please know that millennials are almost 40 years old. Like on the high end, like don't trip. They're not all 18. Like stop it.
No, we don't rep for millennials. We call the young kids millennials. Even I'll be 40 this year.
So this is the point I was going to make though, is that like but it's like, well, but we aren't doing that. Like it's the people who like we had our options. We build what we want. I still have cable. I use all my channels all the time, and the subscriptions I want. It's what's open to me. It's what I need. And if I don't need it, I kill the subscription. If I want it, I bring the subscription back. I also thought it was really funny too when after all this drama is going on, Netflix raises their price, and then what did Hulu do? Man, it's that backdoor thing again. They came through and said, guess what? We're going to drop our price. And I was like, man, that was cool.
Oh, what they did was they dropped the price. They dropped the price on the one with the ads. They kept the one without the ads the same price.
Yeah, but it's still enticing though. You'd be like, all right, guys, fine.
But you know what? Hulu got me because they did a thing for 99 cents a month for the first year. Mm-hmm. And that's how they got me. It was like, oh, it's only $1? All right, cool.
Sure.
But see, now I'm in the position to where I'm watching a lot of stuff on Hulu and these commercials are getting on my fucking nerves. So like if I was spending the normal base rate for these things, I would have went ahead and just upgraded to the one without the commercials, because these commercials are getting on my damn nerves. But because I'm only paying $1, I don't want to go from $1 to 13 or whatever it is. Like, if I was going from 8 to 13, I would have been like, all right, cool, or 6 to 13 now. But like, I'm just doubling the thing, doubling my price, so I ain't got to worry about the ads. Which features the Fortnite ad now. But like, it's one of those things. And then like with the Netflix price hike, like, people were losing their shit, and it was just like, oh, they just keep raising the price and they're taking things away and blah 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 whatever. And I'm like, bro, it's $2.
Yeah.
But I read an article that said that blah 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 whatever. It's $2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what this happened to me at my job before. I used to work in self-storage, and we send out, every once in a while we send out rent raise letters. Sometimes they're staggered. Sometimes we send them all out at the same time, basically. So this lady got her letter, and she came in and she let me have it. Like, about her rent raise, and she was like cussing and fussing and just arguing, and I'm just like, well, ain't really nothing I can do about it, because like, corporate said send this letter out. I sent the letter out. Like, I don't have any control over this.
Yeah, I'm just a man in the middle.
Right, you need to tell them blah 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 blah. And she just going to fuck off. And this one lady that was coming in to rent a unit, she just stood back and she kind of watched most of it. And then the lady leaves, and the lady behind me says, I don't know if I want to do this now, because I mean, if the price goes up that much, like, I don't know if I really want to do this. And she was like, how much does it go up? And I was like, her rent went up $3. And she's like, all that for $3? Like, and so, like, just the outrage. Like, we are 100% in an outrage culture right now. And like, I again, like I said, I have absolutely no idea how to fix this. Like, how do we fix this?
Yeah, because I know on my end, I've lowered a lot of my social media presence recently, because I'm just like, it becomes too much. Like, very rarely, the worst place is Facebook for sure, because that's just like share nonstop. So like, it's like diminished, or even like, then after that it was like Discord, because then it was just too many channels, and then like very exclusatory, like where you go and say something, we're not about this, so get out. And I was like, oh shit, okay, never mind, I just asked a question. So it's like very little by little, because it's just like, I have to regain my own perspective, to have my own sanity.
I'm the opposite. I pretty much live on Facebook now. I cut Twitter off.
Yeah.
I cut Twitter off, and I pretty much only live in my mentions on Twitter. Like, if somebody says something to me, then I'll go on Twitter and I'll respond or whatever. But I cut Twitter off because Twitter became the grounds for the problems, the gaming industry problems for me, because a lot of the Twitter people that I follow were all a part of, the gaming community. So like, I walked away from that. I live on Facebook because that's where like my family and my friends are. But like, I try not to get into a whole lot of stuff on Facebook, and like, there's a lot of people that I have like just muted their posts. Like, I just don't see them.
Oh, I love that mute. That mute feature is the best.
but because I'm a podcaster, I had some issues on Twitter a while ago where I just started unfollowing people. Like, I didn't block anybody. Like, I didn't block anybody. I just unfollowed this shit. Like, all right, cool. Yeah. Like, I'm out. And I had people like hitting me up in other avenues. It's like, you unfollow me? Like, what the fuck just happened? Like, and like, people got really, really like in their feelings about it. So what I do is I just mute people now. So like, you still think that I'm around. You can still see all my stuff. I might see yours, and then we'll just let it roll from there.
Yeah. And for me, it's the same but opposite. Like, I had to really like step away from Facebook because of like the people I know in real life, where I'm just like, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, it's sharing the same like nonsense over and over, and not really thinking
it's like
about
you're seeing people that used to like totally roll with back in the day.
Yeah.
Like I would see people that were in a sister hardcore band that have completely went off the deep. This was right around the time it was really bad around the like Zimmerman trial thing, and when people were like totally like bad mouthing Trayvon and shit, I'm like, I am totally fucking done with this shit.
Yeah.
And you guys were just like moshing.
I know when you grow up.
We were just moshing together like 10 years ago. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, like you're now.
I know I might have hit you in the face once, but fuck, you just got back up and gave me a hug.
It's like, just show up, just type. When did you become the man?
Right? No, for real. Like I said to someone not that long ago, I was like, because it was this whole millennial argument type of thing, and I was like, listen, don't forget, like Gen X is now real old, and we are making some shitty decisions. Just like we said, we were never going to be like our parents made shitty decisions, and our parents said they were going to be. I go, it's normal.
Yeah. It goes back to the hip hop argument, where like the people our age that talk shit about hip hop and they believe that 90s hip hop is the greatest thing ever. And I said, okay, so let me get this straight. You believe that the music that came out when you were younger is the best music there has ever been, and the music of today is just utter trash, all of it, no matter what it is. Congratulations, you just became your parents.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's totally it. Like, we just got to accept it and keep it moving. There was, I don't know who the comedian was, I can't remember right now, but it was like he talked about. When he was young, it was about like staying up as late as he could at night and going to the concerts and just living. And then, now as he's in his like late 40s, like the most adventurous thing he wants to do is just like get up and maybe make a sandwich. Like he just wants to like chill. And he's like, but that's when I realized like I'm old. I'm a parent, like it just, I think once we settle into that and we recognize like it just is what it is, then it all gets easier. But when you try to project like I'm still this other thing, I'm still this, but I was Gen X, and it's like, right, we did fucked up stuff then too. So, just accept it and keep it moving, but stop like trashing everyone else. But so how do we fix gaming? How do we fix everything else? It's like, I think just that recognition, like what am I contributing? What am I giving into this? Like, am I making the problem worse, or am I offering a solution? I think right now it's just make the problem worse.
I think the only way that there's two ways that all of this is going to be fixed. One sounds crazy, and I've said it on multiple occasions. One sounds crazy, and the other one is achievable, but people have to like. We have to like agree that we're all going to do this. Mm-hmm. The first thing is like we can fix all our society problems when the aliens come. Right. Because we'll have somebody else to hate. Like once we have
something unifying for sure.
Yeah, we'll unify over that because we have someone else to hate.
We'll be putting their Xboxes and PlayStations together and being like, "Fuck the aliens."
It'll be the thing. Like
the camera didn't get up.
like the military was doing with the PlayStation 3s because of the cell processor. Like they were we could put these in server racks because of the cell processor, and we can like make some shit happen. And what was that app? There was an app on PlayStation 3.
The one for like where they were like
for like research and stuff like that. But yeah, like there was. I remember that. I can't remember what it's called.
It would just run like 24/7 because it was like cancer research or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And then, but the other thing is like we all, no matter what you believe in your life, like adopt the golden rule. Like you don't have to like if you are anything, if you black, white, red, green, if you are Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever those weirdos are about, like, or if you, whatever religion you believe in or anything like that, like at the baseline, if we all just treat others as you would like to be treated. Like that's it. Like if the biggest problem in our society is we don't treat each other well. We just don't. We just don't. And like, if you treat everyone like how you would like someone to treat you if you were in that spot, then that can change everything for all of us, but we just can't get there.
Yeah, the same people that says that everyone's way too offended all the time They get offended too.
All the time.
Yeah, because guess what? In Anthem, the game's called Anthem. You know what I do when I land? I kneel.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Like the people who call everyone else snowflakes are like the biggest offenders of being a snowflake. You know what I mean? Like y'all are the most sensitive out of everybody. Like, all we have to do is just kneel. Like,
I have a dude who does that to me quite often, and I rarely like respond to him. And he's just like, "Oh, you're a snowflake because of that," and I'm like, I didn't mention you in this tweet. I didn't like you saw it and then felt compelled to respond. Like that's you, man. Like, that's not me. Like, you didn't like my opinion. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah, like every time, look, it's like the people who call us snowflakes, every time they get pissed off at something, like they go destroying their own shit. And I think destroying your own shit, no matter what you believe in, destroying your own shit is fucking stupid. Like at one point they were all busting up their Keurigs. And I'm like, bruh, because of something that happened on Fox News. But like, yo, bruh, do you remember how much that Keurig cost?
Right.
Do you remember the coffee that you drank this morning that took you 10 seconds to make?
Right. And then like the people who were messing up their Nikes. Now here's the thing with the people who were messing up their Nike gear. None of them were actually messing up anything that was worth anything. Like they were all messing up. Like I see,
except the dude who's let him on fire on his feet.
No. Well, that was a hoax. That wasn't
okay.
real.
Yeah. But they were burning some Kmart Nike. They were not burning some Foot Locker Nikes.
They were burning like the $50 Nikes that, like they were burning like the granddad Nikes. We all know the granddad Nikes, those all white ones with the white stripe in the blue outline and the blue inside. The walking shoes. Like they were burning like the walking shoes. I ain't seen nobody burning no J's.
Right.
Nobody. Like, and then that guy who just went out of business because, like, out of all of this stuff, when they gave Kaepernick another campaign, he decided he wasn't going to sell Nike stuff in his sports memorabilia store. And guess what? Nike owns all of the jerseys in football. So if you don't have any jerseys or anything that I can actually buy, like, yeah, you're going to go out of business. And then he tried to make it seem like, oh yeah, I didn't cave in. Yeah, but how does your family feel about this now?
Yeah, like, you kind of like wrecked your livelihood.
Yeah, you wrecked your whole livelihood for one, for a lie, and two, like no one told you to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
No one told you to do this. And then like the people, like there was a restaurant that was in Virginia Beach, and they put a Kaepernick jersey as a doormat to the restaurant.
Oh, I saw that. Yes, I remember that.
They taped it down, and there's a doormat to go into this place. Well, somebody had to buy that already in order to have it. So, like, in all of these cases where you burn your own shit, guess what? You already paid for it. They already have your money. Why are you burning your own shit? Like, you can choose not to wear it, or you can choose to give it away to somebody who might be able to use it, like some homeless people that just like, yo, I know this shirt got holes in it, but you know what? It's better than this holy ass shirt I already got on now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, like that type of thing. But like the people just burning their own shit. And it's just like, and then these are the same people who are burning their own shit are the same people that call everybody else snowflakes. And I'm just like,
because nobody would have said anything if someone was like, I don't agree with Nike supporting Kaepernick, so I'm going to donate all my Nike stuff to charity,
Right.
And everyone be like, well, I don't agree with how you think, but that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Kaepernick devoted his whole most of his shoe collection, which he had a lot of shoes, to homeless people. Like, you know what I mean? Like the person that they're so against, like when they said, well, what are you going to do about this? He actually put his time, his effort, his energy, and his money to like donating to causes, like buying suits for dudes who just got out of jail and like don't have a job, buying them a suit. Like, yo, you can walk in, like if you put on this suit and you walk in there, like you might actually be able to get a job. And like that kind of stuff. I ain't gonna get too far into the Kaepernick thing because it's all stupid. It's all
it was a little bit different in the 90s, like, cause like, like people, like you could have a neighbor that was like some sort of, I don't want to generalize people. Like, I'm just going to say it like a mechanic that was super conservative, and the next door was a professor that was super liberal. They would be friends. They would differ, but maybe they would, rag on each other a little bit, but it wouldn't like get too out of hand. And also, like, back in the 90s, you had one of the most liberal bands of all time, Rage Against the Machine, and conservatives and liberals both freaking love Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
But now, if there was a band that was like politically charged on the left or the right, like people like just go off.
Yeah, no, and that's totally true, because I think what it all touches upon too is like making like irrational decisions because you're outraged. You've been so hyped up because you constantly see on your feed that this is wrong, and you tailor your feed too. Like, I'm only going to follow this cluster of people. And if you're all pissed about something, then that's just what you're going to do. So then you don't want to talk to your liberal or conservative neighbor, because you're just like, fuck that guy. That guy sucks. And it's like, nah, just, in the 90s, we didn't have that, So it was just like you said, I think that was a good example, Chase. Like, your neighbor might bust your balls a little for, a decision you made, but it's just busting balls.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't going to, like, try to get him fired from his job and, all this other shit, and digging dirt on him and, whatnot.
What's the worst part about this? And we need to wrap up soon. But you know what the worst part about this? The people who are like so anti-outrage culture that just rails on this shit, and then you're just like, you do realize you're outraged right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's the people calling snowflakes that are actually snowflakes themselves. It's the same thing. It's like, I'm so sick of this outrage culture. This is pissing me off, and like, I can't even blah 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 this, and I can't blah 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 that. I was like, nobody said you couldn't. Like, maybe.
I mean, how many super pro-capitalist people hate EA? Because they're fucking them, and then they're like, yeah, but well, you need to like, even if sometimes everyone needs to be a little bit more selfish. And I say that in a way to where, like, if you would like make decisions that helped yourself and helped people like you, after a while, everything would because people will like vote and stuff to like help things that have nothing to do with them. We're like, oh man, I'm going to go against this health plan, even though that would really benefit me. But fuck that, because it's.
Well, a lot of people, and like when that famous example of that guy that went on Facebook talking shit about Trump getting rid of Obamacare, and he just went on an Obamacare rant, and he just started letting everybody have it. Like, yeah, we need to get rid of this Obamacare nonsense and blah blah blah, whatever. And a friend of his was just like, "You do realize you're on Obamacare, right?" He was like, "No, the fuck I'm not. I'm under the Affordable Care Act." And blah blah blah.
That was really So many people did not know that those were two different things. They were the same thing. Sorry, they were not two different things.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, you followed behind the rhetoric so much that you didn't realize that this was a part of you already. Like, the whole, and I know of people who still are like, they're going to take our guns away. Mm-hmm. And I was like, y'all do realize y'all said all of this stuff when Obama took office, and you still have your guns, and there was absolutely nothing different about your lives. Like nothing at all. But you still think that they're trying to take your guns away, and they're trying to do all of this stuff. Yeah. And it's just like, where does this come from? And it's like,
it's like my favorite bumper sticker I ever see, that I still see around, was and it was bigger in the Obama era, was you keep your change, I'm going to keep my guns. And I was like, nobody's trying to take your guns. Like, I think the last time someone actually took guns was like the Reagan era, after, like the whole assault rifle issue, like early on, where then it was the ban on like the heavy assault rifles, like, and that was a conservative Republican. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like,
and as much as they hold Reagan up, like Reagan did some like fucked up shit the same way that that liberals hold up Clinton. Like they both did some fucked up shit.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
To to the people who still like glorify them. Like they both did some real fucked up shit. Like maybe you want to look up your mans in them and make sure that like what you're talking about is accurate.
Yeah.
And no one cares about accuracy these days.
Did you watch the Adam Ruins Everything about gun control? That the original gun control is actually like super racist, but they used the gun control to keep it out of the Black Panther Party, basically.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I know about the Black Panthers and the COINTELPRO and all of that kind of stuff, but it was basically like the thing about it is like every time like one of my conservative friends or whatever talk shit about the Black Panthers, I say, okay, so who did the Black Panthers kill?
Right.
And they never have an answer because like the Black Panthers, they patrol their neighborhoods and they patrol their neighborhoods with guns, but we have nothing to point to them actually committing acts of violence like the alt-right and like the KKK and like all of the, you know, the neo-Nazis and all of this other stuff. Like you have nothing that you can point to, but like they still believe that the Black Panthers themselves were
a militant group.
Yeah, a militant group. And it's just like, no, they just walk their streets with guns.
Right.
And like their whole thing was trying to protect people. And
well, and here's the other thing too, is because you just said that they walked their streets.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the fear of like, but you're going to come to my neighborhood. And then I'm always waiting for you to come to my neighborhood and you're going to be there. And I heard it's like the killer bees that are supposed to be taking over the United States for like 30 years now. I'm still waiting for them.
But here's the thing. They tread on the fear of black people because like no one gave a shit, but they called them African killer bees. And all of a sudden it's a thing.
That's right.
They call them African killer bees. And there's a thing. Like they try to scare us all the time. And it was like George Carlin said that, you know, scare people buy shit. So they try to scare us into buying a whole bunch of shit. Like remember when swine flu came out?
Yep.
Swine flu came out and people was just like, man, I just won't eat no pork. We good. And then it was like, nah, nigga, it's the bird flu now. It's like, you can't avoid no birds. Like, and people were scared. It was just like, all they did was change the animal. Like, they didn't change nothing else about like how harmful it was supposed to be. All they did was change the animal, and all of a sudden it's like a big deal. And you know, like, especially this shit comes up like right around like big elections, because like what happened like for Trump's election, that was like when Ebola came back, and Ebola was a bad motherfucker, even though it only actually killed the black people. Like the white people who got it survived somehow, but like Ebola was a bad motherfucker until the election was over.
Yeah.
The same way
we were all gonna die from Ebola.
Yeah, the same way about these the fucking caravan. The caravan was a bad motherfucker until the election was over last year. The caravan
you guys remember back in the day too, and I think it was like a election era thing too. Remember when the flesh-eating disease was like a thing, and we were all gonna die?
Yeah, the flesh-eating disease, bath salts. So remember what bath salts was? Bath salts were like this super dangerous drug, and people were like, it was turning people into kind of a zombie-like state, and they were eating each other.
Your face off.
Yeah, like bath salts. Like, and it was like this really big thing until the election was over, and then all of a sudden it just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, it's like magically everything's cool. Like, oh wow, okay. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die from this or from that, but fear drives. Like that's really what it is. You can fear people into doing a lot of things, and it's just like because we don't want to think about it. We just want to go like, this is scary. That's that.
During the bird flu, swine flu, anthrax phase of our lives, people were literally going out and spending $300 on gas masks. Like it even got to the point that they put that in Oz, the TV show Oz. They put the anthrax thing in Oz. Well, spoiler alert. That's how the whole thing ends. Someone sends a thing of a letter with a letter that's not all the way sealed for some reason, but it just looks like a regular old letter. They open it, some powder falls out. They have to evacuate the prison. That's how the whole thing ends. But like they used all of that to scare people into thinking like someone's gonna send you some mail with some anthrax in it. The same way that they try to do that dumb shit of trying to scare you to think that someone is gonna give drugs to your kids on Halloween. What drug user you know that's just gonna hand out their drugs on fucking Halloween?
That's not gonna happen. You're trying to make money. Like you're not trying to look. You're like, and if you're going to be giving away drugs, you give away your sample to someone who's going to come back and buy them from you,
right,
not the 9-year-old. Like if you're going to get someone high, you want to see them get high. You're not trying to stand from the back and be at your house like Mr. Burns with your fingers together.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. No, when anthrax was a thing, the school I was working in. The like the main office manager, like secretary lady, when mail would come in, she had to wear her like special long gloves and like a mask on, and I was like, that's gonna save you. And she was like, I bought this kit and it's gonna take care of me, and it was like the paper ass like mask. I was like, you're gonna die. It doesn't matter.
Have you ever played any zombie video games? How many hazmat zombies have you fought, man?
Right, exactly. It's a wrap.
In the CDC, full on CDC or whatever it's called in the video game. They in the full on suit. And you know, here's the worst part about it is like people who play video games should know that like they can't save you.
Eyes, like...
and it's the worst thing because those are the motherfuckers that's the hardest to kill.
That's shoot the tank, man. You gotta shoot the tank.
All that shit on. They got all that shit on, and now they hard for me to kill because they got on full fucking hazmat suit. Some bullshit.
Gotta shoot the tank, man. Speaking of shooting tanks, we need to play some Division, man. Been kind of missing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna upgrade my graphics card, and the graphics card that I put in my cart, when I put it in my cart just to see how much everything was gonna be, it said that I get a code for Division 2. Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry 5. So it's pretty legit, man.
I'm only even remotely interested in one out of those three, but all right. Yeah. Division 2 is supposed to be coming out next month, right?
I think so. Yeah, because people just hit the demo, right?
Yeah, I did not play the demo. Just like I didn't play the demo for Anthem, but. I'm interested in Division. It might be the first game that I buy like full on day one in quite some time.
Yeah, I haven't played. I played a little bit of like the first one, but it was one of those things where it was just like I knew I wasn't going to have time. Kind of just like Anthem. Like I enjoyed it. Like I really did enjoy it. And I'm not like the usual like hater where there's like this game is broken. I just knew I wasn't going to have time to play.
Yeah,
it'll be a summertime purchase.
Those three games are synonymous: Destiny, Division, Anthem. Like, I'm surprised Anthem didn't begin with a D. Those all three games are like so synonymous with each other right now. Like, you can't talk about one of those games without talking about the other two now.
Yeah. No, that's really true.
But but with Division, it was just like how they did their levels to where it was just really hard to play with your friends if they were higher level than you. So, but I do want to finish the story just so like. I can be like, I beat the story and go into Division 2 kind of knowing kind of what's going on. Well, I mean, I know what's going on, but but yeah, Anthem's been pretty fun. I don't know if that's because of the EA access classes on that I didn't really pay for it, but I've been having fun with it. Like the 10 hours or so that I got to play.
Yeah, I really need some time to get back to it. I've heard nothing but good stuff from like the regular people that I know, like all of the like the people who review stuff and like have YouTube channels and such. They've all just been constantly shitting on it. But like all of the regular people that I know, and the same thing with Crackdown, all of the regular people would be like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. For one, totally. I hear like everyone that starts out the review, they're like, hey, the combat and everything, and all that stuff's good. I was like, well, that's what I like about it too. Like, but like a lot of the stuff, there's just not enough there or something. Or they said the story was too long-winded. I was like, when has that ever been a thing? Like, you guys normally say the story's too short.
You know, it's just like what we were talking about, the people who are secretly snowflakes and call everybody snowflakes. Watch how the people who say that the story is too long-winded, ask them if they're a Metal Gear fan and see what happens.
It'll be a firm yes.
Firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got to wrap this up. Go ahead and talk a little bit more about your show and how people can reach you.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, my podcast is called Games We Don't Play. It's me and my partner Sean, and then we just added our new partner as well, Delvin Cox, who's got a good podcast too.
I've been listening to his latest stuff. It's been really good.
Woo, man, yeah, that he's doing a series that's like the American perspective. First in the series was where it was just the white experience, and then the next episode was the from outside looking in, like foreigners looking at America. And then this last one that came out that I was on was like the sort of Latin experience as American. Next up is the Black experience. And so it's a good, like, all in all, his podcast is always good, but I highly recommend that.
We know how white people see America. We've all seen America World Police.
But
you should listen to it. It's pretty good. Like,
and especially like some of the things we touched on today definitely come up on there. But on my end, we just we talk about mostly it's more about our life than the games we're actually playing, because it's like, what is keeping us from playing these damn games? Like, we'd love to play them more. Like, my partner, he's got like tons of games. They're just still in the wrapping. Like, he has not had time to undo them.
I still have. Do you know, like, the year XCOM came out, right? Mm-hmm. The first, like, the one on 360.
Yeah.
I bought that game for Black Friday. It is still in the wrapping. I still have never touched XCOM. Yeah, my partner still has GTA 5 in the wrap. Ooh. So he's just like, I'll get to it. One day I will. But you can catch us on all the things, the iTunes or Apple Music, Spotify. And then on my end too, you can catch me on Twitter at that Chaufie. The Chaufie is spelled CHAUFIE. I just always love chopping it up. To say. Can I ask you real quick? What is that name? Where does your name come from? Okay, so the name comes from my wife kind of made it up, and then I just took it over. We went to like a Peruvian restaurant, and they had this chicken dish called chaufa de pollo, and so then she was like, "Chow sounds like it would be like a name, or like, man, you're like choufing it up," or something like that. And then from there, she just kept calling me that. So it was actually a name she started calling me, and then I just stuck with it because it was right in the right time to like where you're setting up like your screen names, your gamer tags, and so then it was like I knew there weren't going to be any other Chaufies, like unless I wanted to be like Kill a Murderer, 759. So it's just like, all right, fine, like this is what I'll stick with. So it's always easy to find this screen name because no one else is using it. But that's where you can hit me up, and then, anytime you want to just BS, like I'm always down, for sure. Word up.
Cool, man.
But all in all, man, I really do appreciate you guys having me on. Like, I have been enjoying your show, and then just even today's conversation, where I just love your sort of open forum format. Like, we talk about a ton of stuff, but I enjoy it. Like it's that room to like breathe and have an honest conversation. Like, people, this is how you talk to each other without being like, "Fuck them guys, never coming back."
Yeah, because
so thank you.
Because the last co-host before me, he has a lot of life stuff going on. He's been running and stuff, but he was like a Reagan era conservative as well. So it's not like we're all liberal over here, Right.
But,
oh yeah, Pimp absolutely hated Obama. Hated Obama's fucking guys.
But he's not a Trump supporting Republican. I can get that.
No, he is not. Well, he wasn't. We ain't talked to him in a bit. We don't know.
Well, even the Trump supporters back then are kind of like, I don't know if because it's funny. Some of them are like, well, he's not bringing the white apocalypse. I hate him now.
It's a different game. Yeah.
So man. Shout out to the people and everybody listening. Shout out to our dude from Germany who asked us a question about English. And
ain't nobody saying nothing on YouTube.
Cool, man.
I'm a little disappointed because your boy ain't even show up.
Yeah, he showed up a little bit at one point because I think he finally found us because he wasn't following our new one because because we were using my YouTube channel for a while just because it was just easy but this year we decided we need to set up a centralized YouTube channel. So that's what we did.
Yeah. I'm still working. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm still working on a possible Patreon. Well, I'm working on a Patreon. I have a Patreon. There's just nothing on it. So I'm working out the details and like the reward system for Patreon. So like that's coming at some point. I was supposed to try to have it out by the anniversary, which, was last Sunday. So it ain't happened yet. So I'm still working on it. I did, however, I created a page for the paintings on what's that website?
DeviantArt?
Etsy. I created an Etsy page. Now I just put a random painting on there just so I could finish the process of setting up the page. But hopefully I can, get the time and get to that. But yeah, for now, go to the YouTube page, Peace Through Colors Arts and Crafts. And, when I hit 50 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I don't know whether I'm just going to make a painting and give that away, or whoever wins, I will ask them what they want, and then I'll try to make something for them specifically. Coming soon. I'm at 35, I think.
That's 35% away from your own custom URL.
Right?
35%, that's like a big number when you're talking about the entire United States.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'm looking at the thing now to try to confirm the number. But yeah, I'm at 35 right now. So when I hit 50, I will do a giveaway, and it's going to be, for the YouTube comments. You have to leave a comment on a specific post that I put up announcing the giveaway, and then I will contact whoever wins. And you know what? I'll do a custom painting for them, whatever colors they want me to use, all of that. I'll do it. Why not?
Nice.
All right. You started it. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, man. Thanks everybody for coming out and, listening and doing all that stuff, and, the thing with your ears and your eyes, and, peace out to the Warriors.
Did you thank your guests for being on today?
I did. I did. And I thank you, Shafi.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate it.
This been really dope. I just subscribed to the Twitter. I just subscribed to the podcast on my phone.
Thank you.
That's done. I just subscribed, and I'll be checking y'all out.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we got some good talk over there. But yeah, again, man, thank you. Thanks to both of you guys for having me on. When Chase reached out, I was like, it's always funny to me because I'm always like, I ain't shit. So when someone hits me up, I'm always like, yeah, I'm down. Like, okay.
Yeah. Normally I'm not like, oh man, I need to get what's the guy? We need to get Adam Sessler on or something like that. Right, I'm just like, I listen to games. I listen to a new podcast I haven't checked out, and cool. I need to get one of these guys on. I mean, because most of the people I get on are people that aren't doing anything anymore. Like people from podcasts that aren't really podcasting anymore. I was like, I need to get them on because I miss hearing them talk. So
just to check in.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's cool. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. It's been fun.
Absolutely. And anytime you want to come back, holla at your boys.
Yeah.
We'll have to change it back to 3:00 again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not 3:00 for you, is it? At all?
Well, for me, no. Right now, it's like 2:15 right now.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's 5:00. Yeah. All right. So, go ahead and wrap this up, Chase.
All right. Peace out to the Warriors. Later.
Peace out to the Warriors. Thank y'all for checking out Scarcasm.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. All right, I ain't gonna talk.